Yo, what's going on guys, it's Cynical and welcome back to another video. Today for you guys, I wanted to sit down and compare Kingdom Hearts 3 running on the PlayStation 4 Pro to the PlayStation 5. The beauty of the next generation systems is that whether it be for the Series X or of course the PlayStation 5, they are backwards compatible with the previous generation. The benefit here is that with the new and improved hardware, we're going to end up seeing some improvements with playing these old gen titles on the new system. For things like resolution, load times, as well as frame rate, even if a previous generation game isn't optimized by the developer, meaning that the developer has created a next generation patch for that old gen game, playing these previous gen games on these newer systems will still see some improvements. So the likes of Kingdom Hearts 3, Square Enix have not said anything about a next generation patch, so as of right now we don't know if it's going to happen. So yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3 is not optimized for next gen, but most certainly you do get some improvements with playing it on at least a PS5 from what I've tested. You'll no doubt probably see some similar improvements running it on a Series X as well. So the resolution department doesn't get touched whatsoever and won't until of course Square Enix step forward to create a patch for the game if they're willing to do so. And yes, just in case you guys are wondering, this is being tested with running Kingdom Hearts 3 at 4K, even though of course we know Kingdom Hearts 3 doesn't run at a native 4K. That would definitely be something I would absolutely love to see if of course Square decide to do the patch. So let's talk about frame rate. Now it's pretty hard to know the exact difference between both consoles, just considering that I do not have an FPS counter. It's a little bit harder to get on your console games via editing, so unfortunately we can't see the numbers on screen. Now what I will say is Kingdom Hearts 3 was pretty well optimized for the most part for the consoles, both One X and the PS4 Pro. Generally speaking, the consoles could hit the high 50 frames per second mark, and sometimes you'd hit 60, but it would never be locked or consistent. It would always be fluctuating within the 50s, sometimes even dipping into the 40s, sort of depending on exactly what's happening in the situation in hand. If there's, you know, like a lot of particle effects flying all around the place, if there are a lot of enemies on screen, too many attraction flow ride, particle effects, yada yada yada, then yeah, the game can start to dip. However, most of the time the game tends to run in the high 50s, which is pretty nice. Now for PS5, it is really hard to distinguish, and again, of course, if we had the FPS counter on screen, we could get the actual numbers, the true facts. But what I will say is, it seems that on PS5, the game holds a consistent, locked 60 FPS. I was playing around for a couple of hours, trying out a few different scenarios with all sorts of different things, like using attraction flow rides. I haven't used these in quite some time, ever since the critical mode update came out, but yeah, I had to whip these bad boys out to see if we got any frame drops. No frame drops. Magic was also a big thing that would sometimes drop the frames, especially Thunder. Didn't find any of that happening at all. But again, for the most part, your experience of Kingdom Hearts 3, even on the previous gen, as it's now known as, was pretty damn smooth, even though, yeah, there could be some little jank moments here and there. For the most part, as I was saying, you're usually always in the high 50s. So the whole frame rate thing isn't really the big thing that I was hyped over in the sense of playing Kingdom Hearts 3 on these next-gen systems. It's more so the load times, which for sure we see an improvement. So the time it takes for the PlayStation 4 to boot Kingdom Hearts 3 from the home screen of the system into loading a game, being in gameplay, takes 1 minute and 42 seconds. For the PlayStation 5, it came in at 1 minute 12 seconds. So you're shaving off about 30 seconds of boot time. Actual in-game loading, like transitioning from one world area to another, or going from the world map into a world, those load times have also seen improvements too. As an example, going from Andy's house to Galaxy Toys on the PlayStation 4 Pro takes about 24 seconds to transition, whereas on PlayStation 5 it takes 16. Going from the world map into Port Royal takes 38 seconds on PlayStation 4 and 21 seconds on PlayStation 5. So that right there gives you a bit of an idea as to the sort of improvements that you can come to expect when playing Kingdom Hearts 3 on your PlayStation 5. As I said at the start of the video, the Series X will no doubt see these same improvements when playing KH3 on that as well. Of course, we could see these improvements be improved even furthermore, as I said, if Square Enix decide to make a patch. Do they absolutely need to? For the likes of the load times, I would like to see them still cut down a little bit, considering the load times of games like Demon's Souls and Spider-Man Miles Morales load within a matter of seconds. It would be super nice to be able to jump from the world map into a world within only a matter of seconds. A resolution increase would also be nice, considering the fact that Square Enix's stable mode that they do have in KH3 is just absolutely scuffed. It's fully broken. It just caps the game out at 30. There really isn't any other visual improvements that you get from turning on that graphics option. So I do believe they could do something more with that mode if they implemented it into a patch, especially with wanting that higher upped resolution. Now guys, that is all for today. Just thought I'd bring this to your attention, as I know a group of you guys have been a little bit curious as to exactly what improvements Kingdom Hearts 3 will receive via playing on next-gen systems. I don't think there's really too much point in testing out the HD remixes, as in the sense of load times and whatnot, frame rate, that was all pretty much golden when we got the PlayStation 4 versions of those games. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Guys, I'm Cynical, hope you're having a fantastic day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.